the atomic unit of a belief that you have is I am someone of value. I am
Yes.
the one,
Yes.
right? When you
Yes.
don't have that, then it's woe is me. I'm at the
Yes.
effect of I'm
Yes.
worthless.
Yes.
What's the point of living and all
Yes.
of that. So I would say the atomic unit of how you're showing up as
Mhm.
if that seed of positivity is
Yes.
that belief that I
Yes.
am of value.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let me ask you this. What did you get that idea? Was it through religion? Was it through years of listening to personal development tapes? Was it the words of your father and mother who bestowed on that belief in you? How did you find that belief? How did you find that source of courage to stand up in spite of all the setbacks?
That's a great question, because the truth is I didn't grow up believing it. It was around me. I didn't believe it. At some point, I realized in my religious community, in my personal development community, people would always say, "You really got something," or "I really believe in you," or they would always have affirmations. But what I noticed was there was a disconnect between what they said and what I believed. I didn't believe that about me. So it was probably somewhere in my 20s, early 30s when it clicked that it wasn't just synchronicity, that it wasn't just happenstance, that I have opportunities.
What
And
happened? What was the specific thing that happened?
I broke away from religion
Mm-hmm.
because for me, the world was bigger and broader.
Mm-hmm.
The life was happening where I was in an existence of. As a matter of fact, I do recall it was near my divorce. It was around the time I was getting divorced. I woke up at around 31 years of age and I realized I'm not happy. But it's not because of
Mm-hmm.
anyone else around me. It's not because of anything else happening. That was the moment. That was the moment. I said, it's because I'm not choosing to be. I'm not choosing to believe in myself. I'm not choosing to bake on it. I'm not choosing decisions that would lead me in that direction. It began there. It truly began there. And into my 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, it began to build. There was a crescendoing. And then in my late 30s, 40, 41, and I got laid off from corporate, it hit me. And I said, for the rest of my life, I'm going to bet on me. Period. I'm going to bet on me. Not because anyone did me wrong. I realized that I, at 31, have a choice. And instead of hoping, praying, believing that someone else is going to do it for me, faith looks like actually getting out and doing it for myself, not letting up, being resilient in spite of the challenges, taking the knowledge that I learned, the books that I hear about, the stories that I'd heard, and now applying them to my life. Not just great ideas, not they made it, but, oh, okay, so you want to be an actor. Oh, okay, well, you haven't had to live out of your car. So that person did, and they made it. It's like, oh, so my situation isn't that bad. No pity party. Let's go. Next move. So I began to use, I don't typically like to compare, but I began to use the lives of others who had learned to be successful and look at what they had to go through, then compare it to mine and ask myself, am I at that state yet? If the answer is no, then there's zero excuse. And if I was at that state, the answer was still, so you're going to quit because of that? And I decided, no, I'm not. And so I surrendered the whole concept of quitting. It just was not an option. Even in and I'm using acting because that's the one that comes to mind right now. I remember telling my children, if I died practicing the same monologue and having never made it big because I believed in what I was up to, know that I was happy. Know that I was happy. And personal responsibility around how I feel internally. What's the saying? Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% attitude. I knew I could be responsible for the 90% attitude. And so I've embraced that idea.
Thank you for sharing that. So a quick recap on what I heard. you don't necessarily like to compare yourself with others, but you use biographical information or life of those that you admire and
Yeah.
look at the challenges that they had to overcome
Yes.
as a way to inspire you
Yeah.
to overcome your own challenges. Is that
Yeah.
accurate?
That is 100% accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Only for the use of good, not for the use of I can't. Woe is me. That's just not. It's not. CK, my father used to tell me this growing up. He'd say, real simple, the words "I can't" together are not allowed in my house.
Mm.